Have you ever noticed how, as we grow older, some people start sharing every detail of their lives, their health, their money, even their family problems, and how that sometimes backfires? In this video, we're going to talk about something many older adults overlook: the importance of keeping certain things private. Because not everything needs to be told. Some things are better protected for your dignity, your peace, and your happiness. Today, I'll share 5 private matters you should never expose in old age. These are the kinds of things that, when handled with care, can save you from regret, gossip, or unnecessary stress. You've lived long enough to know that silence can sometimes be the strongest form of wisdom. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly what to keep to yourself and why doing so helps you live with confidence and respect. Before we start, I'd love to know, which state are you watching from? Type it in the comments below. It's always wonderful to see where our Wise Seniors family is tuning in from. 1. Financial struggles. One of the most important private matters you should never expose too openly in old age is your financial situation. Whether you have plenty or very little, money is one of those topics that can change the way people look at you, and not always for the better. When you talk too freely about your savings, your debts, or your income, you open the door for misunderstanding, judgment, or even manipulation. Some may pity you, others may try to take advantage, and a few might start treating you differently altogether. You've worked hard your whole life, and you deserve peace, not pressure. But when you reveal too much about your finances, that peace can quietly slip away. The truth is, your financial life should stay between you, your trusted family, and your financial advisor. Friends, neighbors, or casual acquaintances don't need to know what's in your bank account or how much your pension brings in. Keeping this information private doesn't mean you're hiding something. It simply means you're protecting your independence. Let's take the example of Robert, age 79. After retiring, he often talked about how much he had saved for his later years, thinking it would impress others or help them plan better. But soon, he began getting constant suggestions for great investment ideas, and a few distant relatives even asked for small loans. Before long, Robert realized that his openness was making him uncomfortable. People saw him as an opportunity, not a friend. He eventually decided to keep his finances to himself and instantly felt more at ease and in control. The lesson here is simple. When you control what others know about your money, you control how they treat you. Privacy brings protection, and protection brings peace. At this stage of life, your goal isn't to prove anything, it's to live with dignity, free from unnecessary worry or judgment. 2. Family conflicts. Every family has disagreements. It's a part of life, especially when you've lived long enough to see different generations grow up with different values. Maybe there have been arguments about money, caregiving, or decisions your children made that you didn't agree with. But one of the biggest mistakes older adults make is talking too openly about family problems with outsiders. What starts as a moment of frustration can quickly turn into gossip, and once the story spreads, you can't take it back. At this stage of life, peace matters more than proving who's right or wrong. When you share private family issues with neighbors, friends, or community members, they might sympathize for a moment, but later they might talk about it when you're not around, and that gossip can damage your reputation and, worse, the respect others have for your loved ones. Remember, family conflicts are temporary, but the way people see your family can last for years. Take Eleanor, age 82, for example. She was upset about the way her daughter handled some family finances and talked about it with a few friends from her church group. Before she knew it, the story had spread across the entire community, and her daughter heard about it from someone else. That created even more distance between them, a pain that took years to heal. Eleanor later admitted she wished she had kept those feelings private and shared them only with someone she deeply trusted, like her counselor or her pastor. Talking about family problems doesn't make them better. It often makes them heavier. Instead of venting to everyone, choose one or two safe people you can confide in. Sometimes simply writing your thoughts in a journal or praying about them can bring more peace than any conversation ever could. Protecting your family's privacy isn't about pretending everything is perfect. It's about preserving love and respect in a world that loves to talk. When you keep family matters private, you keep your dignity and you give your loved ones the chance to grow and heal without judgment from others. 3. Past mistakes. As the years go by, it's natural to look back on your life. The choices you made, the paths you took, and even the moments you wish had gone differently. But one thing many older adults forget is that not every past mistake needs to be shared. Talking too openly about old failures or regrets can sometimes make people see you through the lens of your past instead of the wisdom you've gained through it. At this age, your story should lift others, not invite pity or judgment. You've lived, learned, and grown, and that's what matters most. When you share every painful detail of your mistakes, you may unintentionally give others permission to define you by those moments. Instead of focusing on your strength and resilience, they might see only the times you stumbled. It's important to remember, your past doesn't own you anymore. The lessons you learned from it are what truly matter. Take Walter, age 80. In his 70s, he often spoke about how he lost a business years ago and how that failure ruined his confidence. He thought sharing it would make him relatable, but over time, people began to treat him with quiet sympathy instead of respect. One day, a friend told him, "Walter, you talk so much about what went wrong, but not enough about how you rebuilt your life." That moment changed him. He started focusing on how he recovered, how he learned to manage his finances better, and how that experience made him wiser. Suddenly, people listened differently, not with pity, but with admiration. You can acknowledge your past without reopening old wounds. Share the lessons, not the pain. The truth is, every person has chapters they wish were written differently, but you have the power to decide how your story is remembered. Let your voice 4. Health struggles. As we age, it's only natural to talk about our health. Doctor visits, medications, test results, they become part of daily life. But one thing that often goes unnoticed is how talking too much about our health problems can slowly start to define who we are in the eyes of others. When every conversation centers around blood pressure, pain, or what the doctor said last week, people begin to see you not as you, but as your illnesses. It's not that you should hide what you're going through, far from it, but there's a big difference between keeping close family informed and constantly sharing every detail with friends, neighbors, or acquaintances. Too much talk about health can turn sympathy into distance. People might start avoiding long conversations, thinking it will all be about ailments again. And that isolation can quietly make you feel even worse. Take Dorothy, age 83. She used to spend hours discussing her arthritis, medications, and doctor appointments with everyone she met. Slowly, her phone stopped ringing. Her friends still cared, but they didn't know what else to talk about. One day, she realized that her world had become smaller, not because of her health, but because of how much she let it dominate her conversations. She made a change. Instead of talking about what hurt, she started talking about what made her happy. Her garden, her grandkids, her memories. Within weeks, her energy shifted, and so did the way people saw her. The truth is, your health is just one part of your life, not your whole identity. Of course, share important updates with doctors and loved ones who care for you, but don't let illness take center stage in every story you tell. You are more than your aches and medications. You are wisdom, laughter, and experience. Protecting your health privacy isn't about hiding pain. It's about keeping your spirit alive. Let people remember your smile, not your symptoms. 5. Private resentments. As the years pass, it's easy to collect small hurts. A friend who betrayed your trust, a sibling who disappointed you, or a child who said something that broke your heart. Those memories can linger quietly inside, turning into resentment if left unchecked. But one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself in old age is learning when to stop sharing those old resentments. Talking too often about who hurt you or what went wrong decades ago doesn't bring healing. It only keeps the pain alive. When you repeat the same painful stories, you don't just remind yourself of the hurt, you also share that heaviness with the people around you. Friends might start avoiding those conversations, not because they don't care, but because they feel helpless. Over time, you risk being remembered for your bitterness instead of your kindness, and you deserve better than that. Take Frances, age 81. For years, she spoke about how her brother treated her unfairly when their parents passed away. It became her favorite topic at every gathering. One day, her granddaughter gently told her, "Grandma, I love hearing your stories, but I wish they were happier." That simple comment struck her deeply. Frances realized that her resentment had become a habit, something she carried everywhere. From that day on, she made a promise to herself. She would stop letting old anger control her mood. She focused on gratitude instead, on the blessings she still had. And slowly, she found peace. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting what happened. It means freeing yourself from carrying the pain any longer. At this stage of life, peace is far more valuable than being right. When you keep resentments private, or better yet, release them, you make room for joy, laughter, and connection. The past cannot be changed, but the way you live today can still inspire everyone around you. Leave behind not bitterness, but the quiet strength of someone who learned to forgive and move forward. As we wrap up, take a moment to think about the 5 private matters we've discussed today: your finances, your family conflicts, your past mistakes, your health struggles, and your private resentments. Each of these areas holds deep emotions, and how you handle them shapes not just how others see you, but how you feel about yourself. Old age is not just about memories. It's about protecting your peace, your dignity, and your wisdom. The truth is, you don't owe anyone every detail of your life. The older you get, the more you realize that peace often comes from what you choose not to say. Some things are meant to stay within the walls of your heart, not because you're hiding them, but because you've learned the power of quiet strength. When you protect your private matters, you also protect your energy, your relationships, and the legacy you'll leave behind. Remember this: people may forget what you owned or what you earned, but they will always remember how calm, wise, and kind you were. Let your silence speak of maturity, and your words reflect only wisdom. Before you go, I'd love to know, which state are you watching from, and which of these 5 points spoke to you the most today? Share it in the comments below. Your words might be the reminder someone else needs to live with more grace and peace.